Hello students, in this video I'm going to discuss domain and range. Okay, so what do we mean by domain and then what do we mean by range? Simply put, domain is a collection of all x values. Okay, domain is a collection of all x values. Mind you, I'm saying collection, while range is a collection of all y values. Okay, so in many different graphs, you can be able to tell which one is the domain, which one is the range by looking at the x values and the y values. Okay, so first of all, if we have our Cartesian plane just like this one here, you need to remember that the x values are found on the x-axis. Okay, our x values, we find them on the x-axis, and then our y values, we find them on the y-axis. Remember that a coordinate, right, a coordinate is made up of the following: the x value and then the y value. So if I have the coordinate, let's say I have 2 and -3, what is the x value here? It means the x value is 2, the y value is what? Is -3. I can actually plot this point. I go to my Cartesian plane, I say, where is x2? Here is x as 2, right? Here is x as 2. Where is y -3? Here is y is -3. Now you join them like this. On 2 there, you make a dotted line straight down. This one, you make a dotted line straight horizontal. Then this is your coordinate here, 2 and -3. Alright, that's how you plot a coordinate. Now, what is the coordinates of this one? Well, check the x value. Remember, a coordinate is made up of x and y, right? Check which one is the x value. You check here, the x value is 4. Remember, we look at x values on the x-axis. The x value is 4. And then which one is the y value? We look horizontally and find that the y value is what? Is 2. Okay, it is important for you to know how to plot your coordinates before you can even talk about domain and range. So here's the last one. You can try this one, right? What is the coordinate there? Right, we open our brackets. What is the x value? We check on the x-axis, the x value is -4 there, so we write -4. And then what is the y value? Well, the y value is this one here. The y value is -1. Okay, so this is how we get. So remember, this is the x value, this is the y value, right? This is the x value, this is the y value. This is the x value, that is your y value there. Okay, let's have maybe the last one. Just the last one. What would you say is this one? What would be the coordinates of this one? Well, remember, we have x is to y. So what is our x? Our x, we look at it on the x-axis. So when you go straight upwards on the x-axis, it's 0 there. So the x value is 0. And in the y value, you look horizontally. Well, this dot is already on -2. It's not on the right or left. So we write that our y value is -2. Right? So this is 0 and -2. By the way, this is the y-intercept. When x is 0, we call it y-intercept. Okay? And then if you were to check this one here, the x value is what? Is 6. And then the y value, we don't have to move up and down. It is already, when you look at left here, the y value is already 0. Okay, so it will be 6 and 0. So that's how we plot our coordinates. Now the next thing is to then say, what is the domain, what is the range? Okay, so already here I have something sketched already for you. I have a line here that I already sketched for you, and this line has different coordinates. This one is -2 and 2, this one is -1 and 3, this one is 0 and -4, this one is 1 and -5. X is 1, y is -5. Okay, so what is the domain there, right? Well, your domain, remember, is a collection of x values. So this is what you say. You're gonna say x is an element. All right, then you are going to tell me which x value do we have first. What is the x value do we start with? What is the x value do we end with? That's it. What is the x value do we that we are starting with here? We always move from left to right. when we talk about domain. Okay, we move from where? Left to right. But when we talk about the range, we move up, down to up when you talk about the range. Okay, so for our domain, we're going to move left to right. So this is the first coordinate, right? This is the last coordinate. When you move from left to right, we're going to start on this one, then we're going to end on this one. Now, on this one that is starting, what is the x value? It's -2. So we write that with -2. And then on this one, which is ending on the right, because we move from left to right, on the last point, what is the x value? The x value is 1. That's your domain. But something is missing. We need to use either a round bracket or a square bracket. Now, what determines whether we use a round bracket or a square bracket? If the point is on the graph, exactly on the graph, and then it's included, then we're going to use a square bracket. So as you can see here, the points are already on the graph. We use a round bracket if maybe you have something like this. Let's say you have your line, and then maybe they open a hole and then they continue the graph. Then this coordinate here is not included. We would use a round bracket if we were to talk about the domain. Other instances where we use a round bracket is if we have a vertical asymptote, or if we have a horizontal asymptote, of which we'll talk about more in the next videos. So just remember, we use a round bracket if we have a hole in the graph, or if we have your asymptotes. Or lastly, if we're talking about infinity, if we're talking about positive infinity or negative infinity, we use round brackets, which is these brackets here, like this. Okay, so you should just try to remember that. Now lastly, which one is the range here, right? Which one is the range? Well, the range, since domain is x values, the range is y values, so we're gonna say y is an element. Then we're going to say which one is our starting y value, which one is our ending y value, from down to where? Upwards. So down, this is the point that we have. What is the y value? It's -5. So we're gonna write that we have -5. And then what is our last y value when we move upwards? This is the last y value, and it is -2 there. This is the last point, and the y value is -2. And all of them are included because there is no hole, there is no asymptotes, there is no infinity or positive infinity there. Alright, so that is how you find your domain and range. We'll look at more intense examples on the next videos.